So every relationship goes through the motions. You have great times, you have bad times, but at what point does it become obvious that you need a break? Welcome back, Jessica OS here. So how do you know when your relationship needs a break? Now, whether you're in a long-term relationship or just starting out, it's crucial to recognize the signs I'm about to give you in this video. Now, number one, I believe that you need a break when there is decreased communication. Huh? I heard you say? Let me explain. Now, it's not just about talking less. It's the depth and quality of your conversations that matter. When you start to feel like there's a barrier in your communication, when even simple conversations become difficult, it's a warning sign. And it begins in a really subtle way. I mean, maybe you're not discussing how your day went anymore, or you're avoiding certain topics because they feel too heavy or just lead to constant arguments. This is more than just being tired or busy. It's a gradual disconnect that sort of grows over time. It's not just about the quantity of words exchanged, it's about losing that emotional connection that once came so easily. You might start feeling like you're living with a stranger, or you're just not on the same page anymore. Communication is about sharing your life, your worries, your joys, and your dreams. When these start to fade away and you find yourself just going through the motions, it's a sign that something is fundamentally missing. Remember, it's not about placing blame. It's about recognizing that a gap has been formed and understanding that it might be time to take that step back to reassess. A break in this instance will provide you the space to reflect on how to bridge this communication gap, right? Or to understand what each of you truly needs from this relationship. The good news is, recognizing this sign is the first step towards making a change. Communication can be rebuilt, but it requires effort, understanding, and sometimes a little time apart to gain clarity. Number two, you need a break when there's constant arguing. It's not just the occasional disagreement. I mean, that's normal, but a persistent pattern of arguments that never seem to be resolved. This kind of conflict can take a toll on any relationship. So I want you to think about the nature of these arguments. Are they over significant issues, or are they trivial matters that just kind of blow up into some major fight? Often it's not about the surface issue, but deeper, unaddressed problems that have occurred in the past. Constant arguing creates a hostile environment, making it hard to remember the love and the affection that once brought you two together. It can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, emotional exhaustion, you name it. It's also important to consider how these arguments are handled. Are they constructive, leading to solutions and understanding, or do they leave both parties feeling wounded or unheard? Now, when arguments become the norm rather than the exception, it's a clear sign that something deeper is going on in the relationship that needs addressing. Without intervention, this cycle of conflict can lead to a breakdown in the communication and emotional connection between you two. Taking a break can serve as a much-needed pause. It allows both of you to take a step back to reflect on the root causes of these arguments and assess how to communicate more effectively. It's about breaking the cycle of conflict to understand if the relationship can move forward in a healthy, more respectful way. Remember, it's not about who wins an argument, but how you can work together to overcome challenges. Sometimes distance can bring clarity and a renewed perspective on how to approach conflicts constructively. So, distance might be, in this instance, what you actually need. The third thing that shows that you need a break in your relationship is when there is lack of excitement. Now, before you start jumping because you think I may have hit the nail on the head for you, let me say that this isn't about the natural ebbs and flows of a relationship, but the persistent sense of indifference or boredom. It's when the thrill of being with your woman fades or your man fades, and you find yourself feeling unenthusiastic about the time you spend together. It's essential to ask yourself, when did this excitement start to fade? Often it's not an overnight change, you'd realize, but a gradual process that has happened over time. You might find that you've stopped making an effort to plan special dates or meaningful moments together. Lack of excitement can also stem from feeling unfulfilled or stagnant in other areas of your life, be it personal or professional. It's crucial to reflect on whether these feelings are solely about the relationship or indicative of a broader need for change. Now, this loss of excitement can lead to a disconnect, not just in your emotional intimacy, but in your physical connection as well. It's like living with a roommate rather than a romantic partner. Does it sound familiar? At this point, taking a break offers a chance to reevaluate what excites both of you, right? It's an opportunity to rediscover what brought you together and whether those elements can actually be reignited. Remember, relationships require effort and nurturing. Sometimes stepping back helps you to appreciate what you had or have and also better understand what needs to change. It's about finding that spark that makes your relationship not just comfortable, but truly joyful and fulfilling. A break can be a time for personal growth and rekindling the excitement, both within yourself and in your relationship. So at this point, like I'm saying, a break is necessary. Number 4, your relationship needs a break if you prefer solitude. I'll break it down. Do you find more peace and contentment in being alone than in the company of your partner? This preference for solitude can be a telling sign that the dynamics of your relationship have changed significantly. It's important to ask yourself why solitude has become more appealing. Is it the freedom, the quiet, the lack of conflict, or simply maybe enjoying your own company? Sometimes in a relationship, we lose our sense of individuality, right? And solitude becomes the way to reconnect with ourselves. I get it. However, when this preference becomes persistent, it indicates a deeper issue. It could be about feeling misunderstood, unappreciated, or just emotionally disconnected from your partner. You see, a relationship should add to your life and not make you crave isolation. So if it's isolation you seek, then it's a problem. If you're consistently finding more joy in being alone, it's worth exploring whether the relationship is fulfilling your emotional needs. Taking a break in this context isn't about escaping your partner, but about understanding your own needs and desires when it comes to this relationship. It's a time to reflect on what you truly want from your relationship and whether those needs can be met with your current framework, right? It's also a chance for your partner to reflect on their own feelings and needs. Sometimes a break can lead to a greater appreciation of each other and a stronger, more fulfilling relationship. Seeking solitude isn't necessarily a flaw, guys. It's a natural part of our need for personal space and growth. The key, however, is to understand its role in the relationship and how it impacts your connection with your partner. Number 5, your relationship needs a break if you have misaligned goals. So this occurs when you and your partner have different visions of the future. It's not just about small disagreements, but fundamental differences in what you both want from life. Misaligned goals can cover a wide variety of areas like career, ambition, lifestyle choices, views on marriage, decisions on starting a family, even how many kids you want, right? Initially, these differences might seem, manageable, right? But over time, they become more pronounced, leading to a significant rift. It's important to sit down and have honest conversations about your future. Sometimes I understand these discussions are postponed early in the relationship due to fear of conflict or the hope that maybe the other person might change their mind eventually, right? The challenge with misaligned goals is that they often require compromise or change, which isn't always possible or even desirable. It's about finding a balance between individual aspirations and the goals of the relationship. Dear viewer, it may be time to take a break. It allows both of you to reflect on what you want and whether you can find common ground or if your paths are too divergent, right? Now, this break isn't about winning or changing the other person, but about understanding and respecting each other's aspirations. It's about determining whether the relationship can adapt to these goals or whether it's healthier for both of you to pursue your paths separately. And that might be the case. Misaligned goals don't have to be the end of a relationship necessarily, but they do require careful consideration and open, honest communication. A break can and will provide the space needed to make these important decisions with clarity and respect for each other's dreams. We're at the end of the video, but my final tip I'm going to give you is you need a break if your relationship has trust issues. And I think this was something that you were probably waiting for since the beginning of the video. Now, trust is the cornerstone of any relationship. When trust is compromised, whether through dishonesty, betrayal, constant unreliability, it shakes the very foundation. Trust issues manifest as jealousy, suspicion, constant doubt. It's not just about one significant betrayal necessarily. Sometimes it's a series of small actions or patterns that erode trust over time. Now, this breakdown in trust leads to a cycle of monitoring, questioning, second guessing each other. It creates tense, hostile environments where both partners feel under scrutiny and misunderstood. Addressing trust issues isn't easy. It requires dialogue, professional guidance in some cases. It's about understanding the root causes of these